Welcome back to another episode of the Crown and College podcast presented by the CSPN. I'm one half of your host, Jeremy, and with me is Dan. You can check out our show at cspn.us or wherever you find your podcast or your podcast listening app. You can go on our website and shop with us. Go to cspn.us and click that shop CSPN tab and keep our podcast free. You can shop with Busted Tea, Skull Candy, Adam and Eve Toys. You can shop with Amazon, and every purchase that you make through our website will give the CSPN CEO Classic and co-CEO Mel a little portion of the proceeds to keep the lights on, so you won't have to pay to listen to me and surround sound like a plate of Hog Malls and Anthony Hamilton's greatest hits. Like I said, I am Jeremy, aka Black Dante, aka Confucius, aka Kurt Frost Must Die, aka I don't got another one. I'm so disgusted with love and hip hop. Kurt Frost just gotta die. And like I said, I'm always joined by my co-host and my homie.
Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, I have to report that Dan Chrism is away. This is Dan Christian. Hi.
You know what? This is Hoomps. Hoomps.
What are you talking about? This is Dan Christian. Hello, everyone.
Dan Christian, nigga. Since when you found the Lord?
This morning, I woke up and the Spirit washed over me, and I decided that on today's podcast, I would be a much calmer, milder version of myself. So, once again, hello, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Okay. All right. I don't know how long he gonna keep this up, but whatever. I don't know who this is, but it ain't the nigga that I know. And we are joined on this special 4th of July episode with a recurring guest on the Crown and College podcast, a horrible, wonderful human being, a timeline terrorist, co-founder of ISIS. I'm just playing. Guess go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is London's mother, aka Intense Desire, aka BBW Bang, aka You Can't Whip My Ass, so don't argue in my mentions, aka My Baby is Crying in the background, but don't worry about that. She got a daddy. He gonna take care of that. Also, I'm not a timeline terrorist. I'm a very nice person until you stop posting on your timeline and slide in my mentions. And once you get rude, I just get ruder. That's just all it boiled down to. And if you was an ugly baby, don't put your picture in your Abby because I'll tell you about
it. But you're not a terrorist though.
No.
Interesting.
I'm Black excellence.
Interesting. And the words of Carly Red. Interesting.
Black excellence is exactly what I aspire for every day.
Interesting. But as I said, we are recording on the Tuesday, the 4th of July. Y'all will hear this on Wednesday. Well, shit, you might hear it tonight if we can get this shit to Classic in a reasonable time. Who knows? He might put this shit up tonight. But it's the 4th of July. It don't even really feel like it, though. It don't even really feel like it because it's like in the middle of the fucking week. And like, no, when I think of 4th of July, I'm thinking Monday, either being on a Monday, like having a 3-day weekend, or on a Friday or Saturday, something like that. Something weekended. Like, this shit is in the middle of the week. Like, nigga. Like, it's like, yay, I got the day off. Boo, I got to go back to work in the goddamn morning. Like, shit don't even feel like a holiday.
Nah, this shit terrible.
Shit feel like I just used my flex time at work to take a day off. It don't even feel like no damn holiday. And I mean, it may not be a holiday for some anyway, being that we are some niggas and we live in America, and how do y'all feel? Like, do y'all feel anything like for the 4th of July anymore or whatever? Like, because I know for me, like, honestly, the excitement of, the 4th is like I'm just here to get a plate from like my folks or something, whoever grilling. Like and I got the day off. That's about what it is for me.
Yeah, it's just a
Well,
paid
for
holiday
me,
for me.
it's the fact that we are in Trump's America, and contrary to my Christian leanings, I did not vote for Donald Trump. Thank you for asking. It just feels different to go out and celebrate. I mean, usually I would have a Dr. Pepper and maybe some potato salad and maybe a hot dog. But today, I don't know if I feel really inspired to do so.
You in this damn in the arms of an angel ass voice.
4th of July is just a paid holiday for me. That's really all it is. I in the spirit of blackness, I didn't even dress my kid up in the 4th of July outfit. I didn't care shit about red, white, and blue. I was just happy to be off. That's pretty much it.
Pretty much. Like I was just happy to sleep in.
I got nothing else.
That's about it. Like I just, I mean, it's the 4th and they're supposed to celebrate independence and all that blah blah blah. But nigga, we black, we know this shit. We know that shit really just for white folks.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know this shit just for white folks. Like Dan, who is with this damn Georgia Mass choir ass mosque voice. Like I said, this Trump's America. We ain't really got shit to celebrate about. But with that said, this is not me saying that if you are black and you celebrate the 4th, that's not saying you can't, because that's a thing, especially on social media. It's like people act like two things can't exist at the same time. Me not saying the 4th ain't really for niggas. That don't mean I'm saying you can't shoot fireworks and you can't celebrate and you can't drink beer. That's not what I'm saying. Because niggas don't read and try to look for arguments sometimes.
You could have just stopped at niggas don't read.
Yeah.
No, in fact, they do not read.
Yeah, niggas don't read. Niggas don't try. But yeah, being black in America is pretty terrible. And then depending on what intersection you fall under blackness, it can get a little worse. So recently there was a study that came out that's pretty disturbing. It's the Associated Press broke this on the 27th. A report that black girls are thought of to need less protection, according to a recent study and survey and report on from Washington. Adults think that black girls are less innocent and less need of protection and nurturing, and seem older than similarly aged with their white girl counterparts, which could lead to stiffer punishments in school. A news report said Tuesday. And speaking of, while I'm saying that, niggas popping fireworks in the background as I speak. The report also said that American adults think black girls know more about adult topics and about sex than white girls of the same age, and that those perceptions are greater when it comes to younger black girls from ages of 5 to 9 and 10 to 14. The discrepancy continues to a lesser degree with girls ages 15 to 19. That is. Oh, go ahead, Candace.
I mean, that's not telling us something that we didn't already know. White America in general sees our black kids as older than what they are. I mean, that's obvious with Tamir Rice when they said in the news that the officers thought he was a man of at least 20. We saw a picture of him, and that baby looked every bit of 9. He didn't even look like he was turning 13, honestly. So, I'm not shocked. It remains disappointing, and part of that is because if we be honest about it, our bodies mature faster, we develop faster, so we get treated as older, even in our own communities. Young black girls who develop early get treated and they get accosted by grown men all the time. So I'm not surprised at what the study is saying, honestly.
And that leads to the quote unquote fast tail girl thing where you know black girls develop faster and they get preyed upon by older pervy ass men, but they're the ones that are held responsible as if they're adults. Like this study is saying. And I will. It's not anything shocking, but it's still disappointing. What's disappointing to me is when I was reading it is that 5 to 9.
Yeah.
So as early as five, five,
Five.
five.
Barely in kindergarten. But this is
Right.
this is why we have to change the climate in our own community and protect our black girls, because 5, and even when you think about it, 9. But if you were to go and ask some black women, a lot of us were getting periods at 9. We were wearing bras at 9. We were developing at 9. So, it's a scary thought that even when we are going through things that we have no control over, we can't avoid, in the world we're seen as grown women capable of discussing sex, having sex, and all this other stuff. It's really scary. It makes you want to put a tight hold on the young girls that because how the world is going to see them, both black and white. It's crazy.
This is according to the co-author of the report, Jamila Blake. They don't say her race, but I'm assuming she's a black girl. I mean, a black woman. These findings show that pervasive stereotypes of black women as hypersexualized and combative are reaching into our schools and playgrounds and helping to rob black girls of the protections other children enjoy. Yeah, and they surveyed 325 adults from different backgrounds and education levels, what have you. And in 2014, a study revealed the Department of Education said that black girls are suspended at higher rates than girls of any other race or most boys, which is very disturbing. I know, and it just goes to show you, Malcolm X famously once said that the most unprotected person in America is the black woman, and that the most neglected is the black woman, and that still holds, true. That is a very damning. Like I said, it's not shocking, but it's still very damning because that leads to the perception of even in 2017 of black women being fast, like I said, hypersexualized, like robbing them of their innocence and their childhood, and like that leads to things, the school to prison pipeline, which we often talk about with black boys, which we should, which is true and it's damning, but that also holds true for black girls and black women too. And you see that can also lead to, far as perceiving black girls and black women as combative, that can also lead into why, when it comes to domestic violence, black women are in danger of being victims of domestic violence far more than any other ethnic group. And it also just goes to show you that how, I know, some people don't like to, think things are too deep and stuff, but it really goes to show you how a lot of this shit we take for granted is systemic, it is purposeful, and it is a means of not only white supremacy but patriarchy, and how black women suffer that probably the most.
Yeah, you got to think like a lot of. So I didn't find myself in a lot of fights when I was in school, but as I got older, especially in college, in predominantly white spaces always having to be aggressive or be disrespected. Like those are the two choices that a lot of black women have, both as kids, teenagers, adults, going forward in life. You either have to be aggressive or be disrespected. When you face with that choice, you're gonna become aggressive because nobody wants to have to go into the same space day in day out and be by white people, by black men. It gets really tiresome. So become aggressive and have a take no shit attitude, then they attach the angry black woman, and it you damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like either you could become the angry black woman or you could become the victim. There's no, those are your choices, and like it gets tiresome. So if you have to wear a title, then it might as well be the angry black woman, because even if you decide to play the role of the victim or always be victimized, you'll get blamed for being a victim. Well, why didn't you stand up for yourself? Why didn't you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Why did you let yourself become victimized? You had choices. If that's gonna be the narrative, I'll be the angry black woman, but I'll be the angry black woman that to approach with caution. Right. But like you said, in circumstances of relationships and in where the workplace is involved, once people determine that black women will not take shit, one up us. So in relationships, you will see, well, she's strong, so I got to be stronger and beat her down. So then you see emotional abuse and physical abuse in relationships with black women and black men. And in the workplace, you see us, we always losing jobs because we don't get along with the others. So it's kind of like, where do we have a safe space? And that's what's scary. And this study just proves that black girls and black women will never have a safe space.
Right, which is damning and sad. Dan, you was about to say something?
I was. It just seems emblematic that, again, like before this, we saw this study about adults and like doctors treating black patients differently, thinking that we got different pain thresholds and shit. And then we see it in colleges where we talk about black students not needing like support services offered on campus as much. Allegedly, they say. Then this passes down in high school, in the same principle. And now we see that they're saying it about children. And it just goes to show that, again, like blackness at once it's given this sort of dubious power of, hey, you can navigate the world on your own. You don't need our help. And then at the same time, like keeping us under thumb and under boot to say, oh, well, the reason you didn't achieve is your own fault. And it's like, that river don't flow both ways. Like, you can't say we're the strongest while constantly holding us down from being strong. Like, that's stupid. And now more than ever, we see the proof of this, and we see the way things are laid out. This starts in black childhood, and it just continues up the ladder as we continue to grow and we continue to age in life and learn more and do more and whatnot. Just the expectations just stay so ridiculously skewered that it almost seems impossible to figure out what the hell the world wants from us.
Yeah.
It's sad, but this is like I said, Malcolm said it, many people have said it, and black women have said it, black womanist, feminist is like, nobody protects black women, other than black women, that's sad. And I know, especially on social media, dudes get their panties and not their panties, get their underwear in a bunch about it. But I mean, one from women, black women, just telling you their experiences. At the very least, you should just listen. And then two, people are doing studies after studies, and again, telling us shit that we already know. But still, like the shit is right there. For niggas who can argue, all up and down about, about basketball statistics and football statistics, that's important. But when it comes to shit like this, it's, y'all just too, X, Y, and Z. And it's like, I mean, you say stuff like that, but also don't want to be included as part of the problem, and that kind of leads into this, far as people seeing and perceiving black girls as needing less protection. That leads to stuff like violence against black women, which again is another like third rail topic, especially on social media, because it's often laced with the statement, men are trash or whatever. And again, that gets, especially men on social media, that gets them, that puts dirt in their J's. But this is, I looked this up because we've talked about it on the show numerous times, but I know one time when the man was it Steve Stevenson, and me and Candace talked about that on the later half of our Ratchet recap episode. But it's and I'm quoting Candace here on that very episode, but like the violence against black women that has been done in this country is not overstated or inflated. Really violence against, all women, but specifically black women. I'm just going to read a couple of these statistics. And this is, I always say Google is free. This is from www.unwomen.org. It's ending violence against women and also on the facts and figures page. So I'm just going to read this. Now, mind you, I'm reading this and they don't have the ethnicities and the racial backgrounds of this, but just think about the lack of protection for black girls. Keep that in mind while I read these statistics. It is estimated that 35% of women worldwide have experienced either physical and or sexual intimate partner violence or sexual violence by a non-partner at some point in their lives. However, some national studies shown that up to 70% of women have experienced physical and or sexual violence from an intimate partner in their lifetime. So just that first one alone, before I even get to the other ones, just that first one alone, that it is that 35% of women in the world have experienced some sort of violence, some sort of physical and or sexual partner violence, or from a non-partner in their lifetime. Just think about that. That's before you even get into sexual orientation. That's before you even get into race. Just that if you're a woman, it's a 35% chance sometime in your life somebody has fucked you up.
I didn't mean to laugh, but this is a 35% chance somebody fucked you up. Yeah.
Right. And then, go ahead, Candace. I'm sorry.
The crazy part about that is a lot of that violence is coming from our own people. A lot of that violence is stemming from inside our homes. Like, you know how crazy that is? Like, that we don't talk about enough how much violence happens against young black girls in the home.
Right. It's not. We don't talk about it enough because we don't talk about it enough in generally because it always comes back to that. You know, keep keep it inside the family. Oftentimes, I mean, we don't sugarcoat shit on this show. A lot of times it's done by black men, and it's always that trap that we put black girls and black women in is that even if I may fuck up, I'm a black man. Don't add on and put me in the system. Keep it in house. You know, I'll do better. Meanwhile, that do better rarely ever comes, and it's just a continued cycle of abuse. You know. All right. Another. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Women who have been physically or sexually abused by their partners are more than twice as likely to have an abortion, almost twice as likely to experience depression, and in some regions, 1.5 times more likely to acquire HIV as compared to women that have not experienced partner violence. Again, that is staggering. Another one, as recent as 2012, it is estimated that women that were victims of homicide globally, almost half of them were killed by intimate partners or family members, compared to less than 6% of men killed in the same year. I'm gonna read that again. And this is for a lot of people that try to make it like even and be like, well, both genders are messed up. No, 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 no. I want people listening to my voice on this podcast to listen to what I just said. As recent as 2012, when this data was gathered. Oh, and by the way, while I'm gonna go to the end of the page where this page and the information on here was updated as recently as 2016, February 2016. So again, let me read that one more time. It is estimated that globally, not just counting the US, globally, that if you're a woman and you're a victim of a homicide, it had 50 is a 50% chance it was somebody intimate with you in a relationship or whatever, or by a family member, compared to less than 6% of men in the same context. So who are the real victims again? Because a lot of people like to do that. When you bring up violence against women, they'll be like, "Well, women kill men too, and men suffer too." No, 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 fam. No, 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 no. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Because one, if you really gave a fuck about male victims, you would talk about them any other time other than the fact to kind of like use it as like a high joker in spades when we're talking about violence against women. And just numerically and statistically, it's they ain't the same, not even close in the same ballpark. So again, who are the real victims here?
I always say, after having a child, a lot of things clicked for me. A lot of the power that I had as a woman, I did not realize until I brought life into this world. But it's amazing how we live in a world where everything about women is either criticized, laughed at, abused, and we are responsible for bringing forth life. It's amazing how poorly women are treated, specifically women of color, specifically Black women, and we are tasked and have been tasked with families together, raising kids. We go to work. When we were told that we needed to go to work, we started going to work. When it was said we wasn't educated, we started to get educated and are out earning and are more educated than black men, and still we are not getting the respect that we deserve. We are adding value to the communities where we live. We are valuable, but we are treated like we could be thrown out for the next day's trash. It is unbelievable. And when people talk about, well, men are victims of crimes of passion, and I saw something on Twitter and it really pissed me off. Something along the lines of, well, if it wasn't for women lying about being raped, maybe rape would be taken more serious. Do you know that only what is the statistic? 4 to 8% of reported rapes are false. So that means 92 to 96% of rapes reported or discussed are in fact real incidents that happened to women. They were raped, they were sexually assaulted. So I just really wish I could understand why women are treated so poorly in communities where we add the value and our task with bringing life into the world.
It's it's because sadly the world hates women. Like this is, I mean, that not to like be so simplistic about it, but the world hates women, and specifically, you know, women of color, and like you said, specifically black women. Like here's the thing that I come to like get annoyed with is that it's like, you know, we say, you know, well, men are trash, and people reduce that to like, well, you must think men are trash because because of dating things. You picked the wrong man. You picked the, you know, and it's like, my G, I'm fuck Google. You know, y'all know Google is my baby, but just damn Google, just your newspaper, your TV. You have news right there in front of you. I guarantee you, if you turn on the news, there's going to be every day, it is going to be some reportings of some crime against some woman committed by a man. I can guarantee you. It may not be every day, but goddamn it, 7 days out the week, at least 5 of those days, there's gonna be something on the news about some man fucking a woman up, either non-fatally or fatally, some kind of way. Like we can't. That's like the equivalent of saying. That's like the equivalent of saying like, oh well, if you say white people are racist, and then someone goes, well, not you. You just hang around the wrong white people. You know, not all white people. That's literally the same. That's literally the same shit. And what people do, effectively, what people do when you talk about how trash and how violent men are. Like, there's no like the you have the tools to educate yourself. The statistics are there. The facts are there. We cannot. It is morally irreprehensible for us to want to believe the statistics when it comes to how violent systemically the police have been to black people, but then and then in our case, when it comes to in black men's case and some pick me black women, when it comes to violence that men of all um races inflict upon women, then we don't want to believe statistics and facts and shit. You know, you morally cannot have that shit both ways. Like, all that shit is horrible, and honestly, all of it is connected. Because do you think for 1 second that white people who we know created this system of, and specifically white men, do you honestly believe that white men give a fuck about women any more, quote unquote, than black men do? Hell no. Probably less, probably seeing us they made all this shit, but they hate women too. Like, look, you can look at, like I said, you can look at the news. You got Google at your fingertips. You can try listening to women's experiences. You can look at fucking Congress now and shit. Congress, even when Obama was in office, like his opposition, how anti-woman they were, and how half, if not more, of the fucking country was going along with them because again, we got Trump. And by we I don't mean us, but you know who voted for that motherfucker. Like, it is intellectually lazy and, like I said, morally irreprehensible for us, and I'm talking specifically about black men, to be so loyal to the idea of men and manhood and shit when most of that shit is either harmful to us. That's why the term toxic masculinity is a thing, and worse, is detrimental to women. Like, that shit, we can't have that shit both ways, man. We can't have it both ways where we want the white man to take the foot off our necks with this race shit, but then we don't want to acknowledge that sexism and misogyny ties a part in that shit too. And while we did not invent it, we do have a part in that shit because we often get involved when men, quote unquote, are under attack. We can't have that shit both ways, man.
I agree, honestly. And I'm not agreeing just because I'm a black woman. I'm agreeing because every day you turn on the news and you see that 13-year-old black girls are missing, and days later they are found dead in abandoned houses, and black women are constantly the victims of crimes of passion, from lovers and ex-lovers. And so even if it's nothing seen personally, sorry about that.
I thought we
Black
lost.
women black women just we don't get breaks from violence. We don't get breaks from within the community. We definitely don't get breaks from white people. We don't get breaks from a lot of other minorities. Um, even just, and this is something I've seen on Twitter, and let me state this before so that I don't have all the not all delegation in my mentions, but
No. Thank you,
uh,
Dan. I was waiting on it. Them niggas know not to, them niggas know not to fuck with us. So fuck it. Say what you.
the not all delegation, but even non-black minority women love to uh, demean black women. We don't even get a break at the hands of other women. There's no solitude even, and I see this on Twitter all the time, like white women and Hispanic women and mixed race women who aren't mixed with black. They they love to take the negative that they have heard about from black men and act like they are entitled to say nasty things about black women. So we don't ever really get a break from any corner of the situation. And so, like I said, if you never personally experienced it or been a victim to it, you could, like you say, you could turn on your news and you could see yet again another black girl has been snatched, another black woman has been killed by a lover, uh, or police injustice, or you like we don't there are no breaks. So when people try to act like what's being said is just so out the realm of possibility, it's really weird to me.
It's like I said, man. it's people being willfully obtuse, but picking when they want to be obtuse. Like I said, we can argue about LeBron, whether James Harden let two less rebounds, was worthy of him getting MVP. Which fuck no, Russell Goldbrook. Russell Goldbrook is I can do everything through Russell Goldbrook. Fuck Rockets fans or fuck James Harden fans, but like we can like wax poetic about that kind of shit, and about whether Lawrence fucked the shit out of Tasha or not or whatever on Insecure. Like we can argue about that shit, but like when it comes to like this very real shit, like this very real systemic and purposeful violence against women and violence against Black women specifically, that's when we get and like I said again, and for the record, we reference social media a lot because we're on social media a lot, but because a lot of people like to do this where this shit, where this only happens on here, quote unquote. Motherfucker, more than half of the fucking country elected Trump. The fuck are you? Why are you in 2017 still acting like things that are online is another bizarro world, and then things and it's so different offline? Like dudes disrespecting women, online it only happens online and it never happens offline. Motherfucker, like we just fucking said, street harassment is a thing that Black women have been saying on Twitter for years, and niggas finally kind of sort of got it. But nigga, how can stuff be only on there, quote unquote, when you have to actually be in the streets to get street harassed? So what the fuck are you talking about? Again, that's that thing where I don't want to have any kind of thought to what you're saying, so I'm just going to dismiss it because you cease to exist to me once I close out of my app or log out of the Twitter website. And that's fine, but we say this all the time. Many people have said that, and that often that Black men are often the white people of Black people, not in systemic power, not in like the point of that analogy is, or that comparison is, we usually wax poetic about racism all day long, but in general, when it comes to talks of misogyny, when it comes to talks of patriarchy, like I said, when it comes to violence against women, when it comes to homophobia, when it comes to transphobia, our responses to those conversations oftentimes mirror how white people talk to us as a whole about race, with the dismissiveness and the not all and the putting our feelings ahead of the real danger and violence that other members of our group experience. That's the only point of that analogy. It's not saying that Black men are literally like white people and are systemic oppressors and shit, even though a lot of niggas want to be the oppressor. But what, we'll get in that in a minute. But that's the only point of that damn analogy that many of people have said. Shit, we done said it plenty of times here. Like, that's it gets tiring saying this shit and repeating saying this shit, but we say it because we care about Blackness. We care about Black folks. Y'all know I say all the time, not all these lives matter, but like if I didn't care, I wouldn't talk about this shit. You know what I mean? If I didn't care about the safety of Black women and wanting Black men to do better, and like wanting us as our people to do better, I wouldn't say none of this shit. I wouldn't give a damn about none of this shit. I would just ignore it like white people ignore everything. You know what I mean? Like, it may be with a sharpened tongue and maybe not pulling punches, but it's still it's tough love. It's coming from a place of love is that, hey, we need to do better. And if at the very least, if the world doesn't love and protect Black women and Black girls, at the very least we can. That's at the very least we can, and we should, and we have to.
I mean, I don't really know what else to add to this because there's a lot going here, and also there's a lot of truth going here. So, Yeah, I agree. It's time as a collective community that we all step up and remember that just because someone is even so much as perceived as on the rung below you, that doesn't give you carte blanche to just step on them and shit on them. It's our responsibility, and it's especially our responsibility, in the black community to stay uplifting each other and stay looking out for the next and stay looking out for the next and stay looking out for the next. Because without that, man, our entire house of cards it just falls apart. It's in my Twitter bio. Society's only as good as they treat their women. So
Exactly. Um. So we transition into that. To transition into someone. This is one of those things where we don't really want to talk about it, but we have to talk about it. And also because it coincides with what we're already talking about. So Umar Johnson's upright ass was
Wait. Can I just hey Umar Johnson had on a yaki half wig and then went on to preach about how black women need to stop wearing so much makeup and weave and fake nails and this and that and the third, only for a picture of him looking like Sojourner Truth to hit social media. And it was just like, what are you doing? Are you okay? He looked like W.E.B. Du Bois. Like I'm it, but it was fake. It was like it was a terrible weave, and yeah, but continue. I could never get that image out of my mind of him in that weave, in that quick weave. It was like a 27-piece quick weave.
yeah, it looked like it it looked like he had on that shit. It looked like some shit that you would steal out of like an Asian hair store.
When you post this episode, you got to attach that picture to the link.
Oh, it may or may not be the show art. I'm gonna see what I can do with it. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna get our Oh, speaking of, let me shout out him right now. For those of y'all that have noticed, we have started like putting the Jordan Crown face on like the show pictures and stuff. We get that, and who does that is our boy Simon Side Eye Special. Fuck with him, follow him. Get into his card readings. He's the homie, and he is the one that hooks us up with the Jordan Cry face pictures. so I that may or may not. I'm gonna see if side I can work with that, Candace. It may or may not be the show art.
Put the Jordan Crow face on Umar with the quick weave.
Yes, it may or may not be the show art, but
Umar
yeah.
glued tracks to his head and took a picture and posted it on social media.
Mm-hmm,
But continue,
mm-hmm,
continue.
yep. But so Umar is like he is like the Steph Curry of the Oncrite power rankings. And so this motherfucker went on the Breakfast Club, which um I know a lot of people are like, why is the Breakfast Club giving him a platform? You have to consider that that show is hosted by Charlemagne. So it shouldn't be that surprising that they keep giving him a platform. Like because they agree. The reason is because they agree on 80% of the shit, and nobody's gonna challenge Umar on his fuck shit. So you know, I'm just telling that so people can kind of temper their expectations of the Breakfast Club, which of all the shit that Charlemagne and Envy and even Angela Yee has said on the Breakfast Club and that platform, Umar Johnson should be the last thing for you to be like, how could they? Cause I mean, come on. But so this motherfucker went on the Breakfast Club and said that if a black man dates anyone other than a black queen, that he is a traitor to his race, and that black folks are taught to be colorblind through the church, and that we need to force black boys to date and court black girls only for the survival of the race. I Candace, Dan, just go. I got to gather my thoughts. Just go.
So I'll start. So the first thing is not only most black people can't trace their ancestry fully back to where it started because we are so mixed up because our ancestors were abused and raped by slave owners. So that's that. But one of the things that I completely loathe about Umar No Dr. Johnson is that he can have a good point and he will muddy his point with lies. Nothing is worse than somebody who will muddy the truth with lies. He also made some statements about how the government in the 70s started taking trades out of inner city schools that were providing really skillful trades and crafts to inner city youth and helping them maintain good jobs and, having one up on the labor industry and be able to go in and get these jobs as electricians, as plumbers, as carpenters, and so on and so forth. Then he talked about the crack era. Then he talked about the Bill Clinton, the crime bill. And so all of that was true. Then he comes in and he muddies all that up with this statement. Black men were the breadwinners during slavery. Why? Why was that necessary? Why was that lie necessary when you had just given 3 truths? Like, it is really hard to respect somebody when they will cast a lie on a segment of truth. Because it's like, what agenda are you trying to push forward that you will lie unnecessarily? And that is what Umar does. Not to mention that he is homophobic, transphobic, and misogynistic. It's hard for me to believe that he has good intentions for the black community as a whole when he has proven to be comfortable casting aside women and the gay black community, the trans black community. So how do you put your faith in somebody that only wants the parts of the black community they deem important and worth saving? Like, how do you do that? You don't get to do that. That is one of my biggest issues with Umar. I don't care how many points he has. His points are only applicable to straight to cis black men. Like cis black men. He does not care about women. He does not care about gay black men. He does not care about gay black women. He does not care about the trans black community. He cares about what he can do to save straight black men. And to be honest, there are no straight black men. They're without black women. And you don't get to cast aside the gay community either. They add a great value to the society we live in. They are valuable. They are important. Their lives matter. If you come into this world, your life is important. So you don't get to pick and choose who you want to save in the black community. I have absolutely no tolerance for Umar
Right. And I mean, I'm at a point with him now where like this is who he is. He's a known entity. You know, this is a tiger who's not going to ever change his stripes. And so I don't seek out what he says anymore. Like, I mean, it's this is hitting the speed bag. Only I don't have gloves on anymore. Like, I'm perpetually annoyed by the fact that he exists. And I swear I'm not trying to be like above it all person here, like in terms of talking about this dude. But I mean, I really don't have any other recourse at this point.
No, yeah,
I
that's
know
pretty much where it is.
On this show we talk about retiring people, and I mean, I really would like to throw him into it because again, like there are only degrees of bad with Umar Johnson. There's no, oh well, he said this, but oh, he said this, and that sounded good on paper. So, you know, maybe he's not all the way lost, but we are where we are with him now. And like, I mean, I'm sitting here and like I just, you know, we're talking about how he's transphobic, and you know, I'm just catching wind of like the 16th trans woman, you know, murder victim this year. We're on pace to, you know, shatter last year's worst year on record for that. We're on pace to shatter that by like September at this rate. And like I'm sitting here discussing a dude who fucking hates my community. So like I really don't know what to give anymore. Like he's not even fun to punch anymore. Like, you know, these verbal punches in the face, they don't do anything. He will not change. He will not alter like his worldview. He will not become a better human being for it. He'll just continue to steal money for the school he'll never build and continue to lie about degrees and doctorates that he don't have.
What is it, $350,000 that he has gotten for a school that has yet to break ground?
Sure, if it was $3,500, it'd be too much. Because again, that's just dirty poo. Period.
I've listened to very few Umar Johnson interviews. This was maybe one of the first or second I listened to. I mean, about slavery and then in the college education, and ask yourself 3 questions. If your kid can't go to college to help save the Black community, they don't need to go to college. Like I could think about was, is he the fuck okay? And then my mind was like, no, he is not. Turn this shit off. And that was all I really had to it. Like I agree with Dan. I have no desire to go back and forth on any platform and try to pick out the good in what he says, because the bad far outweighs that he could have said. So there's like really no point in discussing it.
Here's the thing. It's really like with a lot of these Hotep niggas, these Ankh niggas. It's about them kind of, but it's more so about the people who I put it like this. We're talking about, you know, being Black in America and this shit. One of the most famous speeches or, you know, pieces of historical reverence we have with Dr. King is his letter that he wrote when he was in prison to his fellow white clergymen about the white moderate. And in that he says, you know, it basically like, hey, I know I'm more afraid of, or I'm more weary and disappointed in you because you know that this is wrong and you do see value in me and my humanity, but you also won't stand up to your fellow white people who do not see my humanity and do not respect me. And as I'm getting older, as I'm learning and as I'm growing and as I'm evolving, that resonates with me a lot, because a lot of people are like that, and not just white folks. We're talking about, you know, Blackness and within the Black community, because a lot of people, and they'll never admit it, and they probably don't care, which is also even sadder. But a lot of people are the white moderate on a lot of shit. Like a lot of people are the white moderate when it comes to misogyny and patriarchy and sexism. That run the theme here that affects Black women. Um, if not the most, among the worst, of demographic of women, in this country and globally. A lot of people are the white moderate when it comes to homophobia. A lot of people are the white moderate when it comes to transphobia and homophobic and transphobic policies and practices. And a lot of people know it's wrong, but they either won't speak up or they won't cast aside people that promote those harmful things and that harmful rhetoric and stuff. A lot of people are like that, and I saw a lot of that with this Umar stuff. A lot of people that are call themselves progressive or at least have progressive leaning things, and it's like oh, but Umar had Umar says a couple of things I agree with. I don't fuck with him, on everything. And it's like, okay, so the nigga is wrong 9 out of 10 times, but that one time that he's right is enough for you to keep him around, even though those other 9 times he's harmful and dangerous and spewing hate speech towards people that look like you that you claim to care about at these different intersections. That is basically what Dr. King was saying. The moderate, like, it's wrong, but you either won't stand up and say anything, or you will say something, but you'll say something to the people that are being affected, like, why y'all mad, or just ignore him, or he'll go away, or if y'all don't fuck with him, why y'all talking about him? Well, excuse me, but people are human and allowed to be human. If this nigga is spewing, like I said, like Candace said, homophobic shit, transphobic shit, misogynistic shit. Like Candace said, he only fucks with really cishet Black men, and only a certain section of those Black men, and that's Black men that listen and follow and believe in the same shit that he does. If you're a feminism leaning Black man, Umar Johnson don't fuck with you. If you're a straight Black man that loves LGBTQ people and loves your Black LGBTQ brother and sister, Umar Johnson don't fuck with you. So then why are you so hesitant to like say fuck this nigga, and also chastising people, Black people who are affected by his harmful rhetoric and bullshit? You're chastising them for daring to be human and talk about shit that pertains to them. So, like, what is your purpose? You know what I mean? So, like, if you're not speaking up against the bullshit, but also don't want the people that the bullshit is affecting to say anything, then what is your purpose? Why are you here?
I mean, I just think it's really easy to like read, headline Umar Johnson says blank, and then go, well, that's dumb. Like, why the fuck would he think that? And why do people agree with what he's saying? And then, like, I mean, it's not much different from, to use the Supreme example, the dude running shit up in DC right now. Like, he is fucking up, and on a micro level, yes, it's amazing to call out the people who endlessly and blindly support everything he does. But that's where I can hopefully make a difference. Like, Umar Johnson is set in stone, but if I can take somebody and be like, yo, like in the group, for example, and be like, yo, what you said is real hotepish, and this is why, and they turn it around, that's who I want to focus on. Like, that's who I want to pull up out of this, fuck shit, while I feel like they can still be saved, because you know, again, if I'm in a group with somebody, we probably got common interests, or if I, you know, encounter somebody in social circles, not social circle Georgia, but in social circles, and we got this common interest, but they just got this blind spot, or they behind the eight ball on this one particular issue. Like, those are the people I can save and I can pull away from, you know, going all the way down like the Team Umar fucking, you know, rabbit hole. But Umar himself, like, it's hard for him to be newsworthy to me anymore, because I think in a way he likes the bad publication. I think he does. On some weird level. I think he's one of those people who all attention is good attention. And if he's just gonna love it all and treat it all as equal, then I don't want to give him any of it. Like, obviously he's not getting any good attention from me, but you know, I'd rather talk about the discussion that happened than what he specifically said. He's like, there's never going to be a second direction for an Umar Johnson conversation to go. Like, there's never going to be, oh man, he said XYZ about, you know, this social issue, and man, he is dead right about that. Like, I'm not going to get there. Now, if he start cracking, you know, Falcons Blue 23 leading the Super Bowl jokes, then
nigga, I would never see you again.
No, but this is where I'm going with this. Even then, I would just be like, you just doing that shit trying to fit in. Like, this ain't you, dude. This ain't what your platform is for. Like, I mean, we're all known for certain things and not known necessarily for other things. And you know, again, as far as Umar Johnson goes, like, he has sort of built his hill and he has built his profile off of being shitty to all but a very, very small select few of people. And for the same reason that we, you know, didn't, or we don't normalize, you know, President number 45, again, Umar Johnson just, it's hard to turn a headline of his into much more than well, that's stupid, fuck that guy. Well, at least maybe that's my struggle. I don't know. Because again, I don't seek him out, so I don't get specific quotes. And like, I know he says dumb things like renewing his degrees and shit, but speaking of, did he get around to renewing his degree? Because I never heard updates about that.
I think he might have to go do it when he renew his license at the DMV, but I can't do it.
Yeah, I think the fee to renew is, I think the fee is like $50. I think the fee is like $50, but with all the money that he stole and scammed, that's like chump change.
Did he renew them bundles like he was gonna renew his PhD?
I think he might have bought them bundles from Yandy, Candace. I think he might have bought them bundles from Yandy. Because I mean, she got so many bundles to spare.
She took them right out her head. Gave it to him.
Oh man. But yeah, I feel you. I see no value in, like, basically policing people being human. Like, if especially like if I saw people like,
I mean, I'm gonna police that nigga's humanity because he's on some bullshit.
No, I'm talking about, like, I saw people that, you know, follow LGBT people and was like either subbing or like chastising them for like, hey, why are you talking about Umar, just ignoring him? It's like, okay, for you, that's easy for you to ignore because you aren't the person most affected by the hateful shit that he's spewing. And it's big, and it's not so much him, but it's the fact that nigga has an audience, and that the fact that people listen to that motherfucker. Now, to your point, Dan, some of those people probably can be saved, but the more that you don't push back against that shit, the more it's normalized, even more than it already is. And that leads to people, you know, being harmed, you know, like, or at the very least, even more marginalized than they already are, you know. So You know, I get it from
it's a shit pickle to get caught between because I mean you're right. Like no one wants to like we don't want to ignore it. Like that's the wrong thing to do. Like just period. Again, I just know in terms of the things I need for the communities I occupy and the communities I serve. Like it's good to know what the opposite side's saying. And I know there are people who read like Fox News and watch Fox News and read Conservative Report and read, Republican America Fuck Yeah.net or whatever the fuck it is, because they like to know what those people are thinking. I just again like I personally don't turn too much commentary toward it because again, like I'm in these streets working with these marginalized communities. I got work to do. Like I got some time to, I got some time to box them between the ears, and then I got anywhere from one handful to several handfuls of people I gotta pull up and uplift and validate and affirm and make sure that they know that they got a place in this world. And I only get so much of that by calling Umar Johnson a shithead. And like I said, I was scrolling my Facebook feed while we were talking about Umar just then, and then like I said, I caught wind of this news story about from that broke about 9 hours ago about this trans woman in Lynchburg, Virginia, who 28 years old, shot and killed, and I'm like, that's the work I'm doing, like like the person who, again, we don't know all the details about that yet. I mean, it just happened or whatnot, but they're saying they hesitant to treat it like a hate crime, and I'm like, like trans person killed overnight, like violently killed, and we're not treating it as a hate crime. That's ridiculous. Like start there, and if it turns out it wasn't that, then downgrade. But I mean, no, we need to pursue this with all the seriousness of like someone hated this person for existing, and they knew this person, they knew like their identity and whatnot, and whether they just got afraid of being caught up or whatever the case might have been, like that's how we manifest hate crimes. And so we need to go for this with the seriousness of a hate crime. So I don't know. Not saying again that not saying that talking about Umar Johnson's wrong. Not saying that condemning Umar Johnson is wrong. I'm not saying repeatedly condemning Umar Johnson is wrong. I was just thinking again in this moment, I was just like, man, my spoons are running real low.
Candace, you got anything?
No, all in all, don't have very, very much for Umar. I think he's a great danger to the Black community more than he is a help. But what gets him his following is that he has built a following on hate. And it's really weird to build a following on hate and try to disguise it as saving the Black community. So, I kind of agree with Dan in the sense that we can, at times, most times, 99% of the time, not give Umar the attention that he wants, but that 1% of the time, you do have to call to light his bullshit, even if it's just to put it out there for people to think about on their own and say, hey, this man is saying this, but this is what he's doing. So like you said, it's a double-edged sword, but yeah, I don't he can eat shit, honestly. If I was gonna say something about him, he could eat shit, and shit is probably too nice for him. Something worse than shit, he could eat that.
The most, I think the most egregious thing about this nigga is that people, I can't really be nice about it, and that people that follow him are stupid, and that the people that follow him are stupid. On top, for this simple fact, before you even get out to all the bullshit that he says, you should not follow this nigga for one simple fact. This nigga's real name is Jermaine Shoemaker. Jermaine Shoemaker. Jermaine has to be one of the top 10 most ain't shit nigga names of all time. This motherfucker.
All right, let's run a top 5 off that. Let's run a top 5. Top 5 most ancient nigga names. I guess we could all go in and we'll kind of make like a master list. So Candace, since you deal with niggas the most out of the three of us, top 5 ancient nigga names. Go.
Christopher. Any variation that has Chris in it, Christian. So anything that leads to a damn. Anything that leads to Chris, that the nickname Chris.
The word Chris comes with child support papers.
This is gonna be really terrible. And let me preface this that I'm married to a Mike, but most Mikes I know are pieces of shit.
Facts.
Most Mikes I know are pieces of shit. Dante's. Never met a good Dante. Never. Throw Jermaine in there. That's 4. I got space for one more. I never met a good Greg. Never.
Yeah.
Never met a good Greg. Every nigga I know named Greg is usually a piece of shit.
Yeah. I ain't never.
Greg was the name of I Respect Females. So you're right.
Is he still with us?
Apparently he is. He just has migrated to Instagram and he posts videos flat ironing his girlfriend's hair and shit. So, and he took his simp elsewhere.
He's still reposting.
I will never ever forget when he posted that video cussing people out.
And the angrier he got, the quieter he got. Oh yeah, that was the best.
Nigga, that motherfucker was up here throwing up. That motherfucker was throwing up Naruto signs, cussing folks out. That shit will never not be funny. I got a few. I ain't even got a top 5, but I just got a few. Leon. I ain't never met a Leon that was ever worth a damn. Not never. If your name Leon, I'm pretty sure you still change out of folks' cars. Pretty sure. Let's see. Darnell. Darnell is another one. I ain't never met a good Darnell ever. Every Darnell I've met has at least 2 different phones for 2 different women. At least. Let's see. Melvin. I ain't never met a good Melvin. Melvin, any Melvin you know, he got dirty socks with clean shoes.
Okay.
Let's see. Candace already said Michael. Let's see. Jeremy. I ain't never met a good Jeremy, except for myself, obviously, because I am an angel. Don't at me with fake news and alternative facts. Nope.
Not so quick.
Nope.
Don't say except for myself. Include yourself.
Jeremy said the 3rd E is for Ecclesiastes.
The 3rd E is for excellence. God damn it. But yeah, Jeremy's in general pretty shitty. Jeremy is the name of a nigga that will borrow your car to go to a job interview he ain't never gonna get.
Okay.
No. So what that Jeremy does, he don't go to the job interview. He go hang out at the bar 1 in the afternoon, watch ESPN because he ain't got cable at his house. And and then he come back and he tell you how they was hating on him. And what he gonna say? What's the number 1 phrase he gonna say, Jeremy, about why he didn't get the job? What's the number 1 phrase?
They're trying to bring a black man down.
Politics.
Yes.
Politics, man. Politics.
He
gonna say he ain't had no rationale whatsoever. He gonna hope that one word buoys him through that entire discussion. Politics, man. It was just politics.
Let's see. Kareem. Oh shit. I have never in my life met a Kareem that was ever worth a damn. Not never.
Let's take it one step further. Any most names that end in eem, Kareem, Jaheim, anything with an eem in it, they're usually terrible fucking people.
That's exactly what I was gonna do with mine. I was gonna throw Rashid in as well, even though it's a EED.
Yeah.
But only Rashid. Like Rashid specifically was gonna be like the exception to that rule.
Yeah, any Eid, any Eid, like Eid and Eid, that means they got evil in them. You got to stay woke. Let's see. Other ones. Kyle, never met a good Kyle. Not never. Never met a good Kyle. Kyle is the name of a nigga. Kyle is the name of the nigga that will try to shoot his shot in your girl DMs if he catch a whiff of y'all having an argument.
Every Kyle I know got fucked up teeth. So you're right. You're right. You sure right.
That is, you know why that is so hilarious? I'll tell a little.
The Kyle got fucked up teeth.
I'm gonna tell a little brief story. Back in high school, one of my friends in high school, she was dating a guy named Kyle, and this nigga lived with his mama, had no job, and his teeth was the color of Michael Jordan's eyes. So that is it is hilarious that you say that, Candace, because that nigga, not only did he have yellow teeth, like the bottom row of his teeth was like fighting each other. So
his teeth was the color of LeVar Ball's.
All right. Okay. All right. You didn't lie, but all right.
I was just gonna say, Lonzo not gonna treat his dad to a teeth cleaning with that new money.
Listen.
Nothing. Anything. Big baller style.
Big plaque style. Big plaque brand.
Big orthodontist brand. Anyways, go ahead.
All right, so is it my turn yet?
Yeah. I'm probably trying to think of some more as we go.
Yeah, so Kevin definitely ain't never been worth the shit.
Oh,
Kevin.
How did I miss Kevin?
Yes.
Kevin ain't never been worth the shit. Keith ain't never been worth the shit.
Oh damn.
Every Kevin or Keith I know is either fat or lazy. Or both. It's a
I say ain't nothing wrong with being fat, but you know, lazy. Yeah, don't be lazy. Come on now. Yeah. Don't be a lazy nigga named Keith. How you gonna do that?
Keith name Keith got fired from stealing from his job. Yeah. Damn, how I missed the good ones. You're right. Kevin and Keith. Them both ain't shit nigga names. Go ahead.
So Kevin and Keith, and then so this one is kind of weird, like how it works. So most Rickies ain't shit. But also in that same vein, niggas named Derek who refused to be called Ricky also ain't shit.
Hey.
So that's like the same, kind of technically.
The only Ricky I know that was about something was from Boys in the Hood, and that nigga got shot going to get the cornmeal.
Ricky!
Morris Chestnut shot in your back looking ass nigga. But let me see who else.
I got one. I just cause I had these wrote down. I got one. Brandon. Never met a Brandon worth a damn.
Nah, see, I can't. Okay, no, I can rock broadly with Brandon's being ain't shit, but like I know too many like click type Brandons to where like I can't say that they ain't that they ain't about shit.
Like if you know 4 Brandons, at least 2 of them ain't shit.
Why my husband come in here and was like, nah, if you know 4 Brandons, all 4 of them ain't shit.
I was trying to be nice. Out of respect for that, I was trying to be nice. Oh, y'all. Speaking of, I got one on the ain't shit list. The reason that niggas have been in Candace's mission for the past week. Clifford.
Oh God.
Top tier ain't shit nigga. Top.
See, the thing is, I don't know many. Like I know T.I.'s given name was Clifton, but I don't know. Like I know more Cliftons, but I don't know. I know like one other
Cliftons.
I know like one other Clifton, and like all the Cliftons I know are like buku like Jesus dudes. So like.
So I made a comment. This Jay-Z album just dropped, and if you've listened to it, you know that a nice section of the album he discusses his infidelities and his inability to be the husband his wife deserved. And well, T.I. decided to quote the album, and so I simply asked if he skipped over the part of the album about cheating. Well, I've had low income because I refuse to get up and go to work because I don't want to pay child support. So these niggas gonna have to catch me when they catch me. Twitter. For days now, just upset, just why you care, just because the nigga.
Now Mel will appreciate this next one, but Rico is an ain't shit nigga name.
Yes.
Oh, listen, the one nigga I know named his nickname Rico. The nigga got 22 kids, and he complained about child support. Oh, that stopped the show. That made everybody be quiet.
Wow. Okay. Like, that's
those
way too many kids. He got a whole ass soccer team with backups.
Nigga.
He got how many NBA teams?
All of them.
Like 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. Add another good one, Trevor. Never met a Trevor that was worth a damn.
I don't know any Trevors, honestly.
I know 2 Trevors, and they both cool, but I don't know. I know that Trevor. I know Trevor's a popular West Indian nigga name, so there's probably something there. I don't know, but
yeah.
You
Trevor, know what? Any nigga name who end in an EZ, like a Tez, like Montez, John Tez. Yeah, they terrible people.
They terrible
if
people.
If their nickname is Tez, period, terrible.
So my number 1 is Rome. Any nigga who just goes by Rome. Like, so no one. Sarome goes by Sarome. So like Sarome is not on this list. But if you're a nigga who insists, like, if your name is Jerome, for example, and you're like, nah, just call me Rome, baby. No, that's a nigga who ain't worth fuck all. Period.
No, you're right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, absolutely right.
And Rome's also extended Moans as well. So like the nigga's name is Ramon, or like, like say his name Desmond, but they spelled it funny. So now he just like, yeah, just call me Moan for short. Like,
a nigga named Ramon got like 3 wives.
Or he a drug dealer.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think Ramones like want to get married ever. So I think they just got they call them concubines still. Like they
yeah. Oh, I got another one. Earl. Ain't never met an Earl that's worth a damn. Ever.
Unless he is Earl the Mechanic specifically. Earl the Mechanic come through in the clutch for you.
Yeah, all the Earls I know had old faces since they was kids. Like, even though they like 60 now, they looked 40 when they was 5.
So so when they was 20, so when they was 12, they were looking like Greg Oden in the face.
Yeah,
basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, another one, Lawrence. Lawrence is Lawrence is like second team NBA of ain't shit nigga names. Not good enough to be on first team, but trash enough to be on second team ain't shit nigga names. No, Lawrence sound like a nigga that actively pursues married women.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. John is a caliber ain't shit nigga name.
John is the most popular name on this fucking planet, fam. Like I don't know we're gonna get too far with John, because everybody gonna say I know 25 Johns in my family and they're all stand up guys, and Okay.
Not all Johns.
I got a cousin named John, and he crazy as fuck. So
Nah, let me say
right.
this though.
You do like John is a popular name. Yeah, I'm gonna say John ain't. I don't know if John belongs in the list because I know a lot of good Johns and bad ones.
Let me give a conditional about John. So say the nigga's name is like John L, for example, right? And he goes by John at work to do the corporate shit, but he nail on the streets. That's a nigga who ain't shit.
Okay, that's enough.
That is a nigga who ain't shit. Corporate John, street nail.
Speaking of, ain't nothing worse than like you said, niggas who go by one thing at work and something completely ratchet in the streets. They all ain't shit.
Yeah.
My name is. Yeah, everybody calls me Dante at work. In the streets, my name Tay. Fuck out of here. Bye.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm Don at the job. I'm Don, but no, like, oh, you take now? Word, you take? Okay, cool.
I got one more, and then we're gonna move on. This one, I don't know. Like this is probably universal on everybody's power rankings of at least top 5 ain't shit nigga names. Any variation of Dre.
Yeah, all right. Let's just move on to the next part of the show.
Andre, Dre, any variation of Dre.
Oh yeah, you right. I never met a good Dre. Not Dr. Dre, not Lil Dre. None of them.
Last Dre that I know was a testicular terrorist. So, oh man. All right. Okay. All right. So it is the beginning of the month, so we have to do our annual Bring It Back, where we talk about an album that is at least 10 years of age of older. And this one that we finna review, this shit will damn near be 20 years old in about 2020, which is astounding to think about. But I'll bring it back for this week is probably it's probably a bunch of it's probably some niggas on that list of ain't shit nigga names that gave us this album. But we are bringing back Jill Scott's debut album, Who is Jill Scott's Words and Sounds Volume 1.
My favorite song on that album will forever and always be Is It the Way. I remember when I first heard that song, I was like, this is super fucking sexy. And I was still under 18 when that album came out. And my mother caught me singing it, and she was like, what the fuck is you talking about? And like, it's a song. And that's how I put her on Jill Scott. I put my mom on the Jill Scott. Jill Scott has always made very sexy music, and I don't know if y'all gonna get what I'm about to say, but Jill Scott has always made big titty music. Like she always made like hell, she got titties.
I'm picking up what you put down. But I'm picking up what you put down.
She got a big breasted, warm hugs, kind of soulful music. Like that is always translated through her music. Like, damn, I know she gives some good hugs.
All right. Just to before we get deeper into it, like we said, we'll bring it back. Who is Jill Scott? Words and Sounds Volume 1. It was her debut album released July 18th in 2000. It was nominated that year for Best R&B Album at the Grammys, and the singles for the album, Getting in the Way, A Long Walk, and He Loves Me were nominated for Best Female R&B Performance in 2001, 2, and 3. And it was listed as one of the best albums of the 2000s as well.
It deserved all those accolades.
Yes, every last one.
But yeah, man, like Candace said, I'm picking up what Candace putting down a little bit. I would say Jill Scott has always, her music has always, she makes I got big titty music and I'm in love with a big dick nigga music. That's always the vibe I've got from Jill Scott. Like she gonna make songs about grit. She gonna make songs about being in love with dick. That's always the vibe I've gotten from Jill Scott. And this album, like I said, this album was probably inspired by niggas on dudes on our ain't shit name list because um and one thing about this album and other albums of its time is that, and we kind of, I'm putting quotes around kind of because I'm pretty sure you can find it, you know, if you take the time to like search, you know, stuff that isn't mainstream or whatever. But this album told a story. You know, like
Yes.
when you go through the track list and it told a story, and albums of this time told stories. Like every track was a page in the chapter of a book, and this album was no exception. It you know, from the intro, from the Jill intro to, you know, it's exclusively, you know, when she talks about being exclusive with a nigga, then in the next song or getting away is like, but hold up now, sis. to, to a long walk, to the way, to love rain. Like it tells a story of a girl that, in my opinion, has seen some penis and has seen some love and has seen some heartbreaking lies, and it gave us this amazingly well put together album. And especially for a debut album, this was pretty fucking dope.
Jill is so I met Jill Scott maybe in 2014 or 15. One of those two. I met her. I went to a comedy show. Who was D.L. Hughley was at the Improv, and Jill Scott was in Cleveland. She came. First of all, Jill Scott is very fine. Like,
listen,
she ain't picture fine. She ain't.
Listen.
She ain't got on makeup, camera angle fine. Jill Scott had on some jeans and a t-shirt and some big hair, and she was fine, and she was nice, and she was down to earth. It was me and my mom backstage sitting talking to D.L. Hughley, and Jill Scott came in. He was one of the nicest celebrities I ever met. That album is a classic. I'm gonna be honest and say that Jill Scott, every actual studio album that Jill Scott has ever given us has always had some jams on it, honestly.
Yes, so, always. Even if, you know, the album wasn't your favorite or whatever, it's always had some jams, and I don't think she's. I don't want to say ever, but it's rare that she puts out a bad single.
Yeah.
Which is something not a lot.
Jill Scott has no bad singles. Let's go a step further. Jill Scott has no bad singles. And the reason I say that is because Jill Scott works with Hidden Beach Recordings, which has a wonderful, wonderful lineup of musicians. They also do the Unwrapped series where they take popular rap and R&B songs and they jazz them up, which is real cool. But Jill Scott has been surrounded by a masterful team of musicians for the entirety of her career. And I'm not saying that they're the reason why she has success. I'm saying that they bolster the success that she has. Although, again, the words and the songs and everything, that's her doing. Like, she puts those lyrics together and she has that beautiful, like, transcendent voice that just lifts the spirit of a room. She's got that stage presence. She's got that savoir-faire about her that makes her the star that she was, even right out the gates. Because again, like, we knew her as a backup singer previously, and then like she just explodes and becomes like this solo act. And exploded she ever? Because I mean, for that time period, it wasn't as competitive as it is now. I mean, like, now we got this badass Highlander syndrome where it's like, I can only like one artist, and if I like this one artist, then I can't like no other artist like them, or I can't like no other artist to make similar kind of music. No. Jill Scott was she was above all that, and you know, you're looking at contemporaries at that time, and there was so many, but I mean, Jill she just had it going on, just period. Like it's hard for me to imagine like the scope of 2000s R&B without Jill Scott breaking into the mainstream.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's not many artists I say that about. I mean, obviously Beyonce, obviously, you know, Rihanna now in the 2010s, but as far as like the 2000s went, you know, when, you know, like niggas on the timeline, you know, in our circles we run through, love to romanticize and fetishize about the 90s, but again, I can't imagine what the 2000s would have been without a Jill Scott. And I think without her, niggas would be doing that to an even higher degree than they already do, which is kind of scary to think about.
Like Jill Scott was my crush for a long time up until she started defending Bill Cosby. But
yeah,
for a long time, like it's like Jill Scott been fine like all my life. You know, her, the Brad, Niecy Nash. It's like some women just been fine like my whole life, and Jill Scott is one of those women. And like I said, she sung from the soul. Like, and this album has aged gracefully in my opinion. Like you could put this shit on today, and so many women will still relate to it. Like, you know, we can go through the tracks like exclusivity / get in the way. Like, many women can relate to that. Like, you think this nigga is yours, meanwhile he got a whole nother woman and you don't even know about it. Or, you know, a lot of women can relate to He Loves Me, which is probably even still today one of, if not my favorite little song of all time. You know, Love Rain, you know, being fooled by a nigga thinking this forever and he just want to hit it and quit it. You know what I mean? You know, it's just a lot of themes and concepts that still stand throughout today, and aged well, while not being, you know, you can, you know, because a lot of stuff that we love, you know, we look back on it and like we still enjoy it, but we like, this is kind of problematic, you know. Like when we had Lexi on and we reviewed the Survivor album and Nasty Girl, and we like, it's a bop, but god damn, that song did not age well at all. But with this, you know, with this album and these songs and these singles, like this album aged gracefully, and it's like Hannah said, this album is a classic. Yeah, give Who Is Jill Scott's Words on Sounds Volume 1 a spin, you know, get a bit of that nostalgia. Candace, what are your top 3 favorites on the album?
Let's see. The Way. You say one of my favorites, Love Rain. And then Exclusively.
Okay. Dan.
Yes. Okay. So one is The Magic Number. I just really like the way that song's put together. The Way is also a favorite. I would actually be a hipster and say that I like a semi-hipster and say I'm not really all that enthused about A Long Walk. Like, I like the song. I don't love the song. I've heard it at way.
My least favorite songs.
I've heard it at like one too many open mics. Like, worked into like other poets' poetry. So I'm just lukewarm on it now. And yes, listeners, y'all could call me a Jill Scott hipster for that. I don't care. But yeah. So let's see. So I said Love Rain. I said One Is the Magic Number. And I'm gonna go with Do You Remember? It's just such a chill, like, obviously she got the intro, but then like just a chill like song to just bring the album in. Like, you just feel like you coming into her world, and just the way the song is composed and like the way she sings on it, like everything about it is just like amazing to me. And that's my 3rd favorite song on the album. A close 4th would be He Loves Me. I do like that song, even though again it suffers from being worked into one too many spoken word artists' sort of interludes and like their own poems and stuff. It's not as offensive to my sensibilities, which I admit is the bias that I'm holding here. As A Long Walk is, because I don't know, man. I like taking long walks, and like I don't like seeing my long walks become like romanticized unnecessarily. So I don't know. Again, I'm just being a hipster about this shit. I don't care. Judge me. Keep the virgin to yourself. That's all I care about.
I'm gonna go as far to I'm gonna say that all the albums in that trilogy, because it was volume 1, 2, and 3, are really classic albums.
Yes. Let put it on the table. Let's do it, because volume 2 is actually my favorite of the 3. But yeah, definitely, I have no argument to the counter of all 3 of those albums are classics.
Yeah.
And for my favorites, number one, obviously for me is He Loves Me. Like that is, like I said, man, I've listened to a lot of love songs and I have a lot of favorites, but that might be my favorite of all time, man. That is just an absolutely beautiful song. Like,
I remember this real fine girl from Kentucky on Black Planet had that as a Black Planet page. that was my first time hearing it. Not even bullshit. I joined Black Planet summer of 2000, and so like that's timely. But yeah, like late 2000, yeah, she was fine. I remember my junior year of high school. She was this fine little thing from Kentucky. Had that as a Black Planet music on our page. So I like it. I dig it. Like I said, I mentioned it as the first honorable mention, but cool ass first little reference to it. Continue.
But yes, He Loves Me. I love Rain, my second, but not the original singer. I prefer the remix with Mos Def on it.
Okay.
So like I say, He Loves Me, the Love Rain remix, and I would have to say for a third, my third, I would probably have to. I mean, it's cliche as fuck, but I'll probably have to go with The Way. Because
right, we got consensus on one of these. Hell yeah.
I probably have to go with The Way. So for me, it's He Loves Me, the Love Rain remix, and The Way. Yeah, I'll have to.
The Way made all 3 of our lists. Ain't that some shit? Wouldn't have thought.
I know, right? All right, ain't that about a bitch? Also, before we move on to the last thing we got to do, then we'll get out of here. Like Jill got on this album. Jill Express being played by a bunch of hotels. Like we keep it in the book, because like if you think about it, like on Love Rain, like how she said the guy got her by talking about the stars and the color blue and shit, and then on a long walk talking about the peace mentality and Socrates and all that shit. Like she low-key got played by a bunch of hotels on this damn album. Maybe that's why she was defending Bill Cosby, because she got played by hotels on this shit.
I knew you was gonna go there too. My call actually dropped while Jeremy was making that last little point there before we started the one last little thing. And I knew when I came back, I was like, Jeremy, we were talking about how she got fucked over by a Reem because she's from Philly, so she got fucked over by at least a couple Reems.
Yes. Reems were all
beards with them long ass beards and bald heads.
Yes.
And a kufi. Yep.
Niggas wearing the dashikis.
Yep.
I knew Jeremy was gonna go there, and I was right.
She got fucked over by a new school Muslim.
Yeah, all right.
He was born Dante and he changed his name to Muhammad.
All right.
Okay.
So he still had all the Dante traits, is what you saying.
All right.
You ain't slick.
All right. One last thing, then we're gonna get out of here. We got to do misconnections. And since it's the fourth, we're doing these misconnections from DC. And I got 3, and I'm gonna get these out, and we're gonna crack these jokes, and then we're gonna get out of here because we done kept Candace long enough. All right, here we go. Fireworks stud. To the young stud going commando in gym shorts at the fireworks stand in Merchants parking lot. Thanks for the show, dude. Love how you kept grabbing that dick of yours and making it a little harder each time I asked you a question. Great body and smile too. If you want a blowjob and or a fucking older guy, let me know. I bought the red derby assortment and you threw in some extras. We had a laugh about gotta have snakes. Describe me and tell me what I was wearing so I know it's you. Damn, man. You should check out employment at Sean Cody. The end.
Huh?
Mind you,
I'm almost speaking to niggas. I love how you kept making that dick hard for me. Like, what?
mind you. Again, this is in the misconnections portion. This ain't in the personal ads. This is in the misconnections part.
I love how you kept making that dick hard for me. What?
Around some fireworks. Motherfucker, that is a fire hazard. What are you doing?
Nigga said if you looking for a blowjob from an older man, god damn.
Right. Like, that's supposed to be, like, particularly appealing? I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm older. So, like, what is the multiple choice here? A, I know my way around dicks, or B, you gonna like what these gums do, or like what the?
Nah, how you like? All I could think about when you said older man, like that nigga got liver spots.
Nigga.
And that.
Why, Candace, please.
Saying.
Please.
I'm the only one that thought it. Okay.
Why are you this way?
Old niggas be having worms. That's nasty.
All right. Okay. All right. Next misconnection. Snow bunnies at Bull Run Winery.
Snow bunny and Bull Run Winery.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like fuck it, I'm not about to try to say that name. I feel like that's a place where a bunch of niggas go to listen to trap music, even though it's supposed to be a winery. But continue.
This past Saturday, there were so many beautiful white girls at Bull Run Winery. I was there enjoying the beautiful weather and all that delicious wine. I was with a group of people, didn't get a chance to talk to any other women, but saw so many fun and gorgeous girls. I go there once in a while, would love to go there with someone in the near future and have a great time. I had black hair, tan skin. Let's chat. The end.
Wait, read that whole thing one more time. Sorry, it was going in and out on my side, like actual.
Okay. Snow bunnies at Bull Run Winery. This past Saturday, there were so many beautiful white girls at the Bull Run Winery. I was there enjoying the beautiful weather and all that delicious wine. I was with a group of people, didn't get a chance to talk to any of the women, but saw so many fun and gorgeous girls. I go there once in a while, would love to go there with someone in the near future and have a great time. I had black hair, tan skin. Let's chat.
So now that I heard the whole ad, like, all together, who the fuck was this ad to?
It's like, nigga, you was at the winery. You
can't write an ad to 30 people, fam.
It's like he was at the winery, saw the women, but instead of
let's rewind. Let's go. Had black hair and tan skin. That probably described 99% of the men at Bull Run Winery.
Right?
And what group of fucking people was you with that you couldn't just go talk to one of these snow bunnies?
Right.
That motherfucker was with his wife. I was with a group of people that included my wife, and I couldn't talk to the bitches that I wanted to talk to. I would love to come back without her. Like, what?
Right. Candace is the Vinci Code the shit out of this whole ad. Just
Candace, right. Candace just broke down this whole fucking ad. This is, you know what this is? This is a nigga from White Girls Evolving Twitter.
Nah, cause they tan skin. What is tan skin? That's
like,
how you know it's a white man who trying to cheat on his wife. Cause you know, a black man would have been like, you like.
He'd have been like, I'm 6'3". I had a beard.
200.
He would have been describing himself in great detail.
Yeah, and he would have been like big dick. Like what?
I'm just although I will say I'm surprised that a white person is using the phrase snow bunny, because all they gotta do is say other white girls. All they gotta do is say you're fucking hot with a nice rack. Like that's all they gotta do.
You got the point there.
Yeah, that's why I say it might be a nigga, because the word snow bunnies.
Yeah, this might be a Blasian or what they call them when they black and Latino. Maybe one of those kind
of Black-tino
people. Black-tino.
Black-tino. God damn it, Candace. God damn it. God damn it.
The one thing I am certain about is whoever this man is, he is in a relationship or married. That ad out.
Yeah, he is married. He definitely trying to cheat on his wife. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Last misconnection.
Be funny if his wife saw that ad, dude. Baby, did you write this? Hell no, girl. I ain't write this.
Right.
Oh, that was 90% of the dudes at Bull Run winery. Fuck you mean? I don't even use the phrase snow bunny. What you talking about?
I didn't even want to go to that bullshit. Like, okay.
Right.
What even is a snow bunny? Damn it.
He walking out the room talking about that was a close call. Like, fuck out of here.
Right.
Right.
They can take a deep breath walking out that room. Whew.
All right. Last misconnection. Ermite's flight to Dubai. You were sitting in row 10 in business class in an aisle seat.
This nigga specific as fuck.
He got the receipts. You were sitting in row 10 in business class in an aisle seat. I was across the aisle. We met in the bar. We met back in the bar area of the A380. Had glasses of red wine and some great conversation. Many of our views aligned. I even called you a geek. We kept talking after getting to Dubai and went through security together. You set off the alarm and had to remove your belt. You waited for me. I planned to talk with you more in the business class lounge, but I had to run to catch my flight in another terminal. We parted abruptly with a hug. Would love to find you again. The end.
First of all,
the whole time you was reading this ad, I was thinking Stevie Wonder Part-Time Lover. They both in a situation. That shit lasted as long as it needed to.
Got me on the floor. I had to get past you saying Dubois.
All right.
Okay.
Candace, please. Candace, please.
What's so hilarious about misconnections is they spent all this time together and this motherfucker did not get her number.
The whole ass flight and a bar in the lounge.
Going through security in the lounge, having red wine, calling each other geeks. She waited on him, all of that, and you didn't even give her your card. Your connection should have been missed. You a goddamn idiot.
Right, should have missed that plane connection trying to seal a deal, family. That's what she should have goddamn did. The destination was gonna be there. She wasn't stupid.
Yeah, this is just.
That's what I call hustling backwards.
Very backwards. Like, you are a fucking idiot. Like, all this time spent together, you never once thought to say, hey, maybe after, I call you when I get home. Anything, something. Y'all spent about 8 hours, 9-10 hours together and did not exchange numbers. You did not want that woman as bad as you saying you do. Fuck out of here.
Right, like what was you going that bad? So he's like, man, where I'm going is clearly more important than this connection I made with this person.
Home to his wife, probably.
That's always your solution to all these misconnections. All these niggas has got others and need to get back to them as quickly as they can.
So they shot on Craigslist. Yeah, that's hilarious. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around spending this much time with a person and not exchanging information.
Like nigga.
You
Nigga.
You didn't want that person as bad as you said you did. Miss your ass on up out of here and go be a family man. That's what you do.
God damn it. I assume, you know what? I assume that all these niggas are married. I do assume that all these niggas asking for this shit on Craigslist are married.
They either married or they just perverts. Like, it's really no gray area. Like, I've never listened to a misconnection on this show where I've been like, damn, I really hope this person get their connection. Like,
I don't know. I hope that Willie Jones got his connection.
Willie James,
whatever his name was. I hope he got his connection. That's about it. That's where my empathy starts and ends.
Most of the misconnections, you'd be like, they was either complete idiots and could have got the number, or they just fucking perverts. Niggas said, I like the way you was making my dick hard. Like, what? Yeah.
Every time you adjusted your shorts, my dick got an inch longer. Like, what?
All right.
Like a whole inch, fam? Really? That's all it took? But I'm stupid. That's how I think about shit. So don't be like me, kids. Be more like Dan Christian.
All right.
Yeah, okay. I appreciated having Dan Christian on the show. He's sophisticated. He's odd, integrity, grace. We could all stand to be a little more like Dan Christian.
You know, Candace, you're absolutely right. I appreciate you for seeing me. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that has been Crown of College episode 126. Candace, thank you so.
126.
128.
I'll say, wait, we going backwards? What are we doing here?
Hey, bring it back. Candace, thank you so much for joining us. Let the people know where they can find you if you want to. If not, fuck them.
You can follow me on Twitter at Intense Desire. I do tend to post a lot of adorable pictures of my kid that will light up your timeline and bring you joy. I also am a woman of God. I am also an engineer. Also an asshole. I wanted to leave that out, but the spirit compelled me to tell the whole truth and not just bits and pieces of it. You could pick your poison. Mostly an asshole.
A horrible human being.
There's nothing I could do about it at this point. I'm set in my ways.
Yep.
But thank you for having me on the show. I always enjoy getting to come on, be a guest, and laugh it up and discuss issues and crack jokes.
Yeah, you know you're welcome here anytime. Dan Christian, any church announcements for the people? Is Dan Christian still with us?
Hi, yes, I'm still here. I was just saying to walk favorably and consciously with the Lord our Savior, Jesus Christ. In his name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. This has been a great show, guys. Check us out on iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcast. When you live listen to the show, use the hashtag Crown and Collards and give us 5 stars and reviews, and we'll read them on the air. And until next week, hold on, whoa. before I go, you probably will be getting to Crown and Collards this week. As you know, Love and Hip Hop has ended. The season came and went fast as fuck and long as fuck all at the same goddamn time. And you know we have to review it and look forward to me and Candace and someone else new coming onto the show and reviewing it. So
that's right, because it won't be me.
Yeah, because neither Dan or Dan Christian watches this shit. So look forward to that this week or whenever Classic puts it out. And we out. Peace.